Welcome to your homework review for the week. We are adding decimals. Just some quick reminders up top for you. Number one, make sure you're lining up your decimals. Make sure that you fill in any empty spaces with zeros. This helps our brain make strong connections. Drop your decimal into your answer and add it up. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, remember, this is meant to go over the answers with you, so I do go a little bit quickly, but if you have any questions, bring them to class. 4 and 6 is 10. 8 and 6 and 1, 15. 6 and 1 is 7. 3 is 10. 8, 9, 10. This gives us 105 tenths or 150 hundredths. Either one would be correct. All right, next one. We are looking at 26 and 44 hundredths. We're adding to that 64 and 14 hundredths. Drop your decimal into your answer and add away. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 and 2 is 8. Add 1 is 9. 90 and 58 hundredths. Next up, we have 74 and 77 hundredths. We're adding to that 97 and 84 hundredths. 7 and 4 is 11. 7 and 7 and 1 is 16. Put that decimal in your answer. 7 and 1 is 8. Add 4 is 12. 9 and 7 and 1 is 17. 172 and 61 hundredths. Next up, 27 and 55 hundredths. We're adding to that 19 and 76 hundredths. Get your decimals in there. Line them up. Drop it into your answer. 5 and 6 is 11. 7 and 5 and 1 is 13. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 7 is 17. 2 and 1 is 3. Add 1 is 4. 47 and 31 hundredths. Again, if at any point I'm going too quickly, you have the ability to pause me. If you're still having questions, please bring them with you to class. Questions are always welcome. Decimals lined up, add it up. 5 and 1 is 6. 7 and 3 is 10. 7 and 1 is 8. Add 2 is 10. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 5 is 15. 150 and 6 hundredths. Last one for this page is 72 and 38 hundredths. We're adding to that 17 and 69 hundredths. So we have our decimals. We're lining everything up. Our decimal goes down in our answer. 9 and 8 is 17. 6 and 3 is 9. Add 1 is 10. 7 and 2 and 1 is 10. 7 and 1 is 8. Add 1 is 9. That brings us to the end of our first set of homework questions. Please stop your video now. All right, loves, we are back at it with adding our decimals. Remember, just some quick tips that we are going to line up our decimals. We are going to fill in any empty spaces with zeros. This helps our brain and it keeps everything lined up. And as always, drop your decimal down into your answer and then get to work. 9 and 1 is 10. 8 and 7 and 1, 16. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 8 is 18. 4 and 1 is 5 and 0 stays 5. 7 and 3 is 10. 105 and 860 thousandths. All right, we have 14 and 284 thousandths. We're adding to that 79 and 582 thousandths. Make sure that you are putting your decimal down below in your answer. We're lining up our decimals as needed. And then all you got to do is rock and roll. 4 and 2 is 6. 8 and 8 is 16. Carry that 1. 5 and 2 is 7. Add 1 is 8. 9 and 4 is 13. 7 and 1 is 8. Add 1 is 9. We have 93 and 866 thousandths. Next up, 74 and 946 thousandths. We're adding to that 43 and 784 thousandths. Make sure you are lining up those decimals. Get that decimal down into your answer. And off we go. 6 and 4 is 10. 8 and 4 is 12. Add 1 is 13. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 7 is 17. 4 and 3 and 1 is 8. 7 and 4 is 11. 1,118. I'm sorry, 118 and 730 thousandths. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. My brain just took a little break there. All right, next up, we have 25 and 783 thousandths. We're adding to that 34 and 343 thousandths. Line them up. Decimal in your answer. Here we go. 3 and 3 is 6. 8 and 4 is 12. 7 and 3 is 10. Add 1 is 11. 5 and 4 and 1 is 10. 3 and 2 is 5. Add 1 is 6. 60 and 126 thousandths. 48 and 465 thousandths. We're adding to that 79 and 985 thousandths. Make sure your decimals are lined up. We haven't had any empty spaces to fill in with zeros, but know that they can happen. Decimal in the answer. We have 10. 8 and 6 and 1 is 15. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 4 is 14. 9 and 8 and 1 is 18. 7 and 4 and 11 is 12. 128 and 45 hundredths, or 450 thousandths. 68, 117 plus, no thank you, we don't need to change right now. 12 and 711 thousandths. 7 and 1 is 8. Please stop changing on me. Thank you. That's an 8. That's a 2. That's an 8. Put your decimal down in your answer. 8 and 2 is 10. 6, 7, 8. 80 and 828 thousandths. That brings us to the end of our second homework. All right, my loves, flip your thinking. We are in the land of subtraction. So make sure you are ready to subtract. We have 85 and 84 hundredths. We are subtracting. We are subtracting. Don't forget to borrow as needed. 14 take away 6 is 8. 7 take away 3 is 4. Decimal. 5 and 5 is 0. 8 and 7 is 1. 10 and 48 hundredths. If at any point you need to pause me, you need to rewatch me. That is the beauty of these lessons. You can whenever you need to. So here we go. We have 43 and 26 hundredths. We're taking away 37 and 22 hundredths. 6 take away 2 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. 13 minus 7 is 6. And this gives us 0. 6 and 4 hundredths. Next up, we have 76 and 41 hundredths. We are taking away 68 and 82 hundredths. Make sure that you borrow when you need to. We have some major borrowing here. All right, looking good. 11 take away 2 leaves us with 9. 3 take away 8 can't do that. So we're going to come over here and we are going to borrow. And 13 take away 8 is 5. 15 take away 8 is 7. And 6 take away 6 is nothing. Get that decimal down in the answer. 7 and 59 hundredths. 63 and 51 hundredths. This time we're taking away 47 and 34 hundredths. Set it up. Decimals are important, matching up our place value. Borrowing as needed. Here we go. 11 take away 4 is 7. 4 take away 3 is 1. 13 take away 7 is 6. 5 take away 4 is 1. 16 and 17 hundredths. All right, 93 and 39 hundredths. We're taking away 45 and 94 hundredths. Set it up. Line up your decimals. Borrow as needed. And here we go. 9 take away 4 is 5. 13 take away 9 is 4. 12 take away 5 is 7. 8 take away 4 is 4. 47 and 45 hundredths. Last one for this page. Set it up. Decimals in your answer. Line it up as you need to. Borrow when necessary. Okay. 7 take away 5 is 2. 13 take away 4 is 9. 6 take away 4 is 2. And 6 take away 2 is 4. This leaves us with 42 and 92 hundredths. That is the end of this homework assignment. Please stop the video. All right, love bugs, we are adding and subtracting decimals this time. So do yourself a favor. Go through, circle your addition and subtraction signs, and make sure you know what you are being asked to do, right? It would really not be a good time if we did all of the work and then had to go back and do it again because we added instead of subtracted or subtracted instead of added. So just take a second. Make sure everything is where it is supposed to be. All right, we're subtracting. 7 take away 7 is 0. 6 take away 3 is 3. 9 take away 1 is 8. 5 take away 1 is 4. First one, 48 and 3/10. You could also call it 48 and 30 hundredths. This one we are adding. Make sure that your decimals are lined up. Put your decimal down in your answer and go ahead and get started. Always starting at the farthest place value to the right. We have 4 and 4, which gives us 8. 5 and 7 gives us 12. Carrier 1. 4 and 1 is 5. 7 and 7 is 14. This gives us 145 and 28 hundredths. Still adding for this one. Lining up our decimals. 9 and 8 is 17. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 2 is 12. 3 and 1 and 2 is 6. 2 and 1 is 3. 36 and 27 hundredths. All right, we're back to subtracting. Flip your brain. Subtract, subtract, subtract. We have 70 and 23 hundredths. We are subtracting 28 and 57 hundredths. Borrow as needed. 13 take away 7 is 6. 11 take away 5 is 6. 9 take away 8 is 1. 8 take away 2 is 6. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Still living in the land of subtraction. Make sure you borrow wherever you need to. Decimal down in your answer. 16, take away 8 is 8. 3 take away 1 is 2. 12 take away 3 is 9. 3 take away 1 is 2. 29 and 28 hundredths. Last one, back in the land of adding. Decimal down below. We have 4 and 1 is 5. 9 and 6 is 15. 9 and 1 is 10. Add 6 is 16. 8 and 2 is 10. Add 1 is 11. That brings us to the end of our 4th homework page. Go ahead and stop your video. All right, sweet faces, here comes our last homework. Before we even get into it, I need to remind myself. Remember, are we adding? Are we subtracting? What are we doing? There we go. Now we are ready. We know the rules. line up our decimals. Make sure our place values are matching. And with that, we're ready to go. 9 plus 5 is 14. 9 plus 5 is 14, add 1 is 15. 5 and 1 is 6, add 1 is 7, drop that decimal. 2 and 1 is 3, 4 and 1 is 5. All right, let's do a little subtraction, shall we? 89 and 245 thousandths we're taking away. 10 and 793 thousandths. Make sure you line up your decimals. Take a peek and see if there's anywhere that you are going to need to borrow. We're going to have to borrow here and here. 5 minus 3 is 2. 14 minus 9 is 5. 11 take away 7 is 4. 8 take away 0 is 8. 8 take away 1 is 7. We're gonna keep moving and grooving. We are still subtracting. We are almost to the end, my friends. This one we have 70 and 271 thousandths. We are subtracting 58 and 100